Good afternoon and welcome back to Minty English. Today we're going to talk about something a lot of people have problems with, and that is the difference between the past tense and the present perfect. A lot of people get these two confused. They don't know how to use them or not sure when to use them. Okay? All right. So let's start. Past tense. All of you know past tense. Past tense is something it's an action that has happened in the past. In other words, a time before right now. It has happened. It started. It finished. Yes? Like, I went to the cinema yesterday. Okay? When we use the past tense means that you can use a specific time in the past. And yesterday is my specific time. Went, past tense of go. A lot of people have problems with the past participle as well. Okay. Now, let's say I want to say the exact same thing that this sentence says, but I want to use the present perfect. Now, this is how you could write the sentence. Now, with the present perfect, you're not using a specific time in the past. So you would say, I have been to the cinema. The only difference here is you're not giving that specific time as to when you actually were at the cinema. Here, it just means you have been at the cinema. Now, the present perfect is also used to indicate anything that you've done in the past up to this point. So, if I said, I have never been to the cinema. Now, this sentence can tell you a lot of things. It can tell you from the time you were born until today, you have never stepped foot inside a cinema. Okay? When we ask questions like, have you ever been to the cinema? Now, this can be a little tricky, but not really. When we use ever with the present perfect, because that's the only way you can use it with the present perfect, you can't use it with the past tense. It's asking, have you ever, from the time you were born until today, been to the cinema? Okay? Now, let's just say for a second, I do this. Let's say we're comparing between the past tense and the present perfect. And let's say it's a conversation. And you're not real sure what you should use to answer someone, if it's the present tense or the present perfect. Past tense or the present perfect. So let's start out with this. Okay. Did you go to the mall? We know this is in the past tense because of did. Okay? Now, you can answer this short answer, or you can answer it a long, full, complete sentence answer. But we're going to use short answers here. Did you go to the mall? No, I didn't. Okay? You're always going to answer the question the same way that it's asked. If you ask with did, you answer with did. If it's yes, I did, yes, you're still answering it with the simple past. Okay? Now, let's say you want to give more information. If you say, no, I didn't, and you did something different, then you could say, no, I didn't. I went to the library. Okay? And there's your past tense. So anytime you ask a question in the past tense, all of your answers are going to be in the past tense. Okay? Even here, if your answer is yes, I did, you could say, I enjoyed it. There's your past tense. Still in the past tense. Okay? Now, let's say we asked the question in the present perfect. Okay? Have you been to SARMED restaurant? Yes or no, because it's a yes or no question. Yes, I have. You asked it with have, you're going to answer with have. Okay? Or, no, I haven't. It's going to be negative. Now, let's say, yes, I have, is your answer. You could say, I went there last week. Okay? Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, because even though you've used the present perfect to ask the question, and you've answered that question the same way, to give extra information, like saying when you actually went to SARMED restaurant, you will use the past tense. Okay? Now, for instance, if you say, no, I haven't, and you want to put more information, now you could say, no, I haven't, but I'd like to. Now, this is your simple past, because this is the contraction for I would. Okay? You could also make it one complete sentence and get rid of no, I haven't, whoosh, and just do it this way. No, I haven't, but I'd like to. The same way. Okay? So that's the basic way of telling the difference, or when to use it, past tense or the present perfect. But one more thing I want to give you about these two things. A lot of people ask me, how do I know when to use the past tense in a question, and how do I know when to ask in the present perfect? Well, here's the simple answer for you. If you're having a conversation with someone, and let's say you're talking about your vacation last year, okay? Your vacation in Turkey. You're sitting there, you're having a conversation, and you're telling me all about your vacation. So now, my question to you is going to be, did you visit the Blue Mosque? Your answer would be either yes, I did, or no, I didn't. Okay? Now, the reason I'm asking it in the simple past is because you're telling me about your vacation. So I'm asking for additional information. If I'm asking for additional information, you're going to use the simple past. That means I know some things about your vacation, but I don't know all things, so I'm asking for extra information. Now, if I know nothing about you and nothing about, let's just say we're talking about traveling. In general, we're traveling. Then I would ask you, have you been to Turkey? Yes? You would say, yes, I have. Then, if you say, yes, I have, then I would say, did you visit the Blue Mosque? The Blue Mosque? See, that's additional information because now you've told me you've been to Turkey and I'm asking for additional information. So this would be the difference between the past tense and the present perfect and when to ask it and when not to ask it. Okay? So that's going to wrap it up today for past tense and present perfect. So if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button. Good day.